Good evening and welcome to the regular City Council meeting for the City of St. Peter, Minnesota. It is Monday, September 8th, 2025. At 7 p.m. we are called to order. Would all please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone's received a copy of the agenda. Are there any revisions or corrections? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda as distributed?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of approval say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Our agenda is approved. The minutes of our August 25th meeting appear on pages 5 through 8 of the packet. Are there any revisions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes as distributed?
Second.
All those in favor of approval say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. We have time on our agenda for a public hearing on 2025A and 2025B certificates of participation for our municipal building project, and the process is outlined on page 9 of the packet. The process will begin with a staff presentation. We won't have an applicant tonight, and then there will be time for public comments. So we will start with a report from Shannon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, members of the council. Shannon Sweeney with David Drown Associates. Purpose of the public hearing is to receive comment with regard to the issuance of tax-exempt bond proceeds for the benefit of a nonprofit corporation. The bonds are being issued, the Series 2025A bonds are being issued as 501c3 bonds, and in order to do that, we have to follow a process that requires a public hearing. We're spending some of those funds for the benefit of a nonprofit corporation, as I mentioned, and in order to do that, required to accept comment on that, and ultimately, before we authorize the issuance, which is an action item later this evening, we'd sure like to hear any public comment with regard to our investment for the benefit of Scholarship America in the project. So,
Thank you.
And to be clear, Shannon, the benefit to Scholarship America is that they are tenants of the city of St. Peter.
Correct.
After we purchased the property last year.
correct.
Thank you.
Well, it doesn't seem like we have any questions, and as Shannon noted, this will come up as an action item later on our agenda. Anything to add?
It's just appropriate if there's anyone in the audience to provide them the opportunity to speak at the hearing.
Is there any member of the audience who'd like to take this time to address the council on this matter? Hearing none, we will take this up later on our agenda. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if I could have you, the hearing is closed.
Oh, the hearing is closed and it is 7:03. We now have time for visitor comments. Is there a visitor who'd like to address the council on an agenda item? Hearing none, we have time for general visitor comments, and I know we have some visitors who'd like to address us, and I'll call you forward, Bob. Thank you. If you can just both introduce yourselves. For the record, we need your name and address.
My name is Marge Miller. I live in Mankato. Do you need my full address?
Do we need the full address for the record?
We'd love to have a street
Okay,
address.
303 East Walnut Street, number 3, in Mankato.
Thank you.
Bob Genlin, St. Peter, 1435 Thomas Street, Lambert Heights subdivision.
Thank you.
And we're here this evening representing the St. Peter All School Reunion Committee. We want to thank the City of St. Peter for their assistance with this, namely with the lights that we got to use and the picnic tables that were brought in and taken out. We had the reunion on July 5th of this year. We had approximately 240 people participate. We were hoping for more, but the weather, if anybody recalls, was quite warm. And there was, I believe, a severe, if not regular, thunderstorm warning. So we believe that cut down on our attendance. We had 47 different classes years represented, starting with 1951 and going through 2020. We had one stretch from 1961 to 1990 where we had at least one person from every year in that stretch was in attendance. So, like I say, we're here this evening to thank you for the city and what you gave to us to assist.
I just want to put in a special thank you. We started this when Larry Haugen was a chamber manager. I retired after 35 years in the police reserve, and he says, I've got a job for you. And then we started, and the first one was in '03 to bring people back to the community after the tornado of '98. And the city's been behind the organization that I guess I got roped into doing for the last umpteen years, looking for new blood if there's any out there that would like to get involved, because I'd like to see it keep going. And I'm in my 80s, and the rest of them are in their 70s, so we're looking for some new blood to keep it moving forward.
And
Yeah.
the reunion is not held every year. It's held whatever year the 4th of July falls, like on a weekend, like on a Friday, Saturday, something like that. So, you know, it's not an every year occurrence. So,
About every 5 years. Like
So-
I say, thank you, the city, Todd. You just came on board right after the tornado, so you know what it was like.
so.
Thank everybody that serves.
And let the city do a thank you to you for carrying this forward and doing a lot of work to coordinate. And if there are any volunteers out there
They can
watching on YouTube.
Then give my office a call. Keisha or I will answer, and Bob will send them your way. We'll be happy to do it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Plugging away. Thank you. Thanks again.
Well, and I know we have another planned person coming to discuss, to provide visitor comments, and that is Mitchell Check, if you want to come forward. Joined by John.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Mitchell Check. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Shorewood and also a member of the Minnesota Recreation and Park Association's Award Committee. I'll refer to it as MRPA so I don't have to exhaust those words over and over this evening. I'm here this evening. It's an honor to bring to you to present not one but 2 awards of excellence to the City of St. Peter's Parks and Recreation Department. They did some outstanding work on 2 separate projects. One being the Teen Advisory Board and Volunteer programs, and then the other being the 2024 to 2038 Parks and Recreation Master Plan. Before I get into that, though, just like to give some brief history of the awards committee and MRPA as a whole. So MRPA was formed in 1937 with a primary focus to foster growth and development of parks and recreation throughout the state. Presently, there are around 850 members, ranging from municipal to state to commercial, private, all different members of the association. The awards committee was created in 1987 with the purpose of acknowledging both individuals within the field as well as agencies for outstanding work on different projects, initiatives, that sort of thing. And the awards committee consists of park and recreation professionals across the state who are MRPA members in varying levels of professional park and rec in the field. So we have directors, we have specialists, we have a wide variety of people to provide input on those awards. The committee feels it's appropriate to increase awareness of and appreciate the excellent parks, trails, programs, anything that involves parks and recreation throughout the state. So this committee, its goal is to kind of enhance those, put a spotlight on those associations that are doing great work. MRPA members can nominate a project for an award of excellence. So if someone does great work, they can nominate their own project. If someone sees another city or a peer that's doing something great, they can nominate that as well. And then those are brought in, reviewed upon the committee, and only the top projects or programs or initiatives are selected to receive an award. So there's 7 total categories for awards, and St. Peter won in 2 of these categories. So on behalf of the MRPA Awards Committee, it's my pleasure tonight to present an Award of Excellence in the category of Volunteer Initiatives to the City of St. Peter for its project involving the Teen Advisory Board and Volunteer programs. So we can start with that one. So Parks and Recreation Director Stutzman, if you want to come forward, and your team.
This is yours.
Congratulations.
So, guys, if you don't mind, if we could have you, if you wanted, whatever you want to do, and then we'll take a short recess, and we'll be able to take pictures. We'll have you look that direction into that camera, and then we'll take a few pictures after that, and then we'll go to the second one.
Perfect.
Perfect.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're on a roll. I don't want to interrupt the flow.
So, second, it's my pleasure to present an award of administrative and management category to the City of St. Peter for the 2024 and 2038 Parks and Recreation Master Plan.
Pete, come on, get up here. Mitchell, Pete is our Public Works Director, where Parks is housed. And,
Nice to
well,
meet
I'm
you.
an MRPA member. This is one of Pete's primary projects. So.
There you are.
Thank you.
And I'll just, before we get to photos, I'll just say it takes a great deal of hard work from staff and also the commissions, leadership from council, the volunteers, community partners, everyone involved with these projects. It's not just one person doing that. I know, we got a couple people up here, but I'm sure there's many more that went into it. So just want to celebrate everyone that's involved, as well as council for your leadership. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, let's give 'em applause.
All right. And we will recess at 7:12. Thanks. We're returning from recess at 7:13 p.m. And even though they're gone, I'll still say nice things about them. Our library is absolutely outstanding. Our Parks and Rec programming, our parks system in St. Peter is one of the things that really attracted me to St. Peter and that I've loved throughout the time I spend living here. So those awards are very, very well deserved. We will now move on to the approval of the consent agenda. The consent agenda begins with a memo on page 22 and concludes with the the memo on page 10 and concludes with the resolution on page 22 of the packet. The resolution approving the consent agenda includes the following licenses: a temporary gambling license to the Minnesota Barbecue Society and a temporary on-sale liquor license to the St. Peter Ambassadors at the locations and dates listed within the packet. The following employee appointment is made: Amber Schott as administrative specialist in the police department at the wage listed within the packet, as well as the schedule of disbursements for August 21st through September 23rd, 2025. Is there any discussion about any items that are on the consent agenda? Hearing no discussion, is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom.
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Ramp.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. We have no items of unfinished business tonight. Under new business, 2025A and 2025B certificates of participation for our municipal building project. And Shannon's back again to talk to us.
Yeah, this is the good stuff with regard to what we talked about at our public hearing earlier. Ultimately, many months ago, we started the process of putting project financing together for the municipal facility project. And we've assembled a great team that includes an underwriter at D.A. Davidson. It includes your staff. I won't praise myself, of course, but I'm just a hangers-on, so here to coordinate a little bit. But at the end of the day, we've drafted an offering document and we're ready to go to market to sell bonds. We're using a little bit different process this time. In many instances, we will draft an offering document, take bids from multiple underwriters, consider those bids, and bring them to council and award sale to the lowest overall cost of borrowing. This financing is different. Ultimately, it doesn't carry a general obligation pledge of the city, meaning we haven't pledged our full faith and credit and our ability to levy an unlimited amount of tax for the repayment of this bond issue. We're making an annual appropriation pledge, meaning on an annual basis, the council will determine whether or not they're going to budget for the lease payment associated with this project. Ultimately, that means that we are going through a credit rating process looking at this a little bit differently than we do a normal bond issue. We carry a AA- credit rating when we're issuing general obligation bonds. This will probably be a step or two below that. And ultimately, we've prepared for that and recognize that, and are going to have a conversation on Thursday with a credit rating agency regarding that pledge that we're making for the repayment of the bonds. The sale process is different in that, as an annual appropriation pledge security, we have a little bit more information that we have to disclose in that process to tell folks about our ability to repay this debt. And so we tend to negotiate and work with one underwriter when we have a longer story to tell, which we're intending to do in this instance with D.A. Davidson. We've selected that particular underwriter because they're very familiar with the community. They've worked with us in the past, and they've helped us along this way to structure this in a manner that seems to work best for the project. And so ultimately, they're a good partner, and they are ready to market and sell this and hopefully obtain an interest rate that's pretty close with what we've been estimating and telling you we think it's going to be, which is ultimately around 5%. There's two series of bonds. You see 2025A and 2025B described. And ultimately, since it's a 501c3 bond issue, we are limited to 2% that we can spend on issuance costs. Plus, we have a little bit of property that we're considering reselling for private development. And to keep that option available, we need to finance that with taxable bonds. And so that small second series, the 2025B, that will have a maximum par amount or maximum principal amount of $325,000, is a taxable bond issue. Carries similar pledges, but ultimately it gives us flexibility on what we do with vacant land around the new municipal facility and what we're able to sell it for or work with the developer on. And we wanted to have that flexibility through this process. And it also covers, I think it's about $70,000 worth of issuance costs. That duration of that taxable issue it's paid off in a couple of years. And so the principal that we're initially paying is mostly going to pay off that up to $325,000 taxable issue. So that one's retired. It carries a slightly higher interest rate. And so we're paying that off more quickly. We're wrapping the balance of our tax-exempt financing for the bulk of the project around that with this Series 2025A issue. That will have a maximum par amount under the resolution you're asked to consider of $9,025,000 and a maximum interest rate, because in this parameters resolution, you're authorizing the mayor and city administrator to execute a bond purchase agreement and ultimately close on a transaction based on meeting parameters that are within this resolution. This will not come back to you again as a council for consideration, just to be clear. This is your time to discuss and determine if it's appropriate to issue under these parameters and proceed with the sale of bonds. We're intending to have that credit rating within approximately a week and a half worth of time, and to ultimately sell these the third week of September, somewhere around that 22nd, 23rd date. Ultimately, we wanted a little separation between when the Federal Reserve next meets on the 17th, because something unusual happens or unique. We want a few days for the market to level off again and be ready and normal to sell bonds through this process. Working with one underwriter helps us to maneuver around any of those circumstances that could arise and pick a different sale date. We can do that at almost any time. And so that's another benefit of the method of sale that's been selected. We will compare what the underwriter provides us with regard to an offer to purchase to other bonds being sold that day in the market, and we'll make sure that we're receiving something that's competitive and reflects current market conditions. I've worked with this underwriter a lot, and I've never been disappointed with what they've been able to accomplish. So I think they'll work hard for the city to pre-market this issue and sell it at the lowest overall interest costs that they can obtain. So we have a resolution to consider. That resolution authorizes the issuance of up to $9,025,000 in the Series 2025A bonds at a maximum interest rate of 5.5% and a maximum principal or par amount of $325,000 for the second series of 2025B bonds at a maximum interest rate of 5.35%. The interest rate on that second series is lower because it's such a short term. That's paid off in a couple of years. We're capitalizing about $287,000 worth of interest, meaning we're borrowing that so that we phase in the levy for this project over 2 years. The term on the bond issue is 25 years. That's down from 30 years that we've talked about for quite some time, but ultimately we feel the interest savings are so significant that it makes sense to pay a little bit more in debt service in order to get this retired more quickly. With that, I'm happy to answer your questions with regard to the information presented and the action that you're being asked to take.
Thank you, Brad.
So it seems the way we're doing this so that we would be able to potentially hold part of the land for sale would lead to a higher interest rate overall. Do you know what the difference in interest rate would be?
The taxable portion of the issue is 5.35%, but it's only on $325,000
Okay, so
in
that's
total.
that's the only piece. that
Yes,
would be
that's the only taxable portion is only $325,000 of the roughly up to 9.3 million that you're authorizing. So it's a very small portion.
Okay, and because it just seemed like when you're talking about the fact that we were going to go with a different bond rating, is that only on that 325?
It's on
or is that
both
on the whole?
series.
And with the different bond rating, would that say we were to just go with general obligation bonds in general? What would be the difference there if we were to do that?
Oh,
Or roughly, just ballpark,
Yeah.
not a.
10 to 15 basis points, from
Oh,
1/10 of 1%.
Oh, okay. So it's not.
0.15
It's
of
oh,
1%.
okay. So it's not
Yep.
that. Okay.
No,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Additional questions?
Mayor, members,
Yeah.
if I could, just to emphasize what Shannon said, one of the reasons we're doing this in 2 series is to provide you additional flexibility related to the 18 acres or what's remaining of the 18 acres outside of the facility and the development that you're doing into the future. No decision has been made about what that is or what that could be, but we wanted to provide the council with maximum flexibility. And if we financed it in one direction and then the council decided to go a little bit different direction, that would cost you a lot of money to get that solved. And so, again, we're trying to provide you as many options as possible.
Brad?
I would say probably to allay people's concerns, while it may leave it open for sale could be a number of items, whether it could be maybe something to a Gustavus or something like that. It wouldn't necessarily be to a housing developers or something like that. It could be to that, but it wouldn't necessarily be for certain development
And
reasons.
it
So.
could be a year from now, it could be 25 years from now.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say is people don't have to.
Nothing's been
Yeah.
predetermined at this point, so, yeah. Well, thank you very much, Shannon. I don't see any other hands, so the resolution we're considering appears on pages 25 through 31 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Sharstrom?
Aye.
Councilmember Voss?
Hi.
Mayor Noel?
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson?
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis?
Aye.
Councilmember Ramp?
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld?
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on, our next item of new business, Rivers Edge Hospital purchase approval, IT infrastructure. Here's Paula to talk to us about that.
I'm going to do my best. You ask a nurse to come down and talk about IT, it's not great. So today I am here with the recommendation and the request to update our networking equipment. This includes replacing the main firewall, upgrading switches in both the emergency and surgery communication closets, and upgrading the wireless infrastructure. We did work through Cisco and Marco, and the total cost of the project, if we paid cash for it at this point in time, would be $273,215.36. We are, however, after looking at some financing options, we are recommending that we would separate that out over 3 years, and we would pay $94,547.51 per year for each of those 3 years, which would take us to a total of $283,642.53. The updated infrastructure is going to do a few things for us. So I can't tell you the last time that we've done this upgrade. I've been at the hospital for almost 17 years, and I don't know that I've been part of a discussion where we've done that. So we are currently with a firewall out of support as of October. That means that we can't get updates for that. Puts us at a risk for breach and cyber attacks, which of course could be much more expensive than any of us would care to talk about. With the equipment that we have, the communication devices within the hospital, we have an increasing need for the IT infrastructure. And so that's what I'm coming with today for reason. Councilmember Rant has asked some great questions, and again, maybe you just want to walk through what you and the IT manager have talked about?
A couple things that I asked, but one, I asked if we were getting state bid pricing on this, and I actually got kind of a mixed result, so I went through and I looked at state bid pricing, and we were at or under, which was good to see. A few other items I asked about was we have 2 firewalls on there. We do have 2 connections to the hospital. They're hot, redundant boxes, meaning that if one goes down, somebody has to then transition over to the new one, which it's one way of doing it. But that means we always have another firewall sitting running just all the time, but we need to stay protected, and I get that, and that's the way that the network topology is. And one of the other questions I had was just about the number of ports, and there's plenty of ports available, so yeah.
We have been with Cisco and Marco, again, for over 10 years. We have, I call them like a concierge, so if we implement something, we've got a person that has worked with us for probably that same amount of time that comes in and helps us. He's within 50 miles, he steps in pretty quickly, and we've not had any difficulties with the system, so.
Additional questions for Paula?
Just
Yeah.
maybe some context. Anytime there's a capital purchase, it does go through a finance committee, and then the hospital commission, and then when it's over, the certain dollar amount, it comes here. So these big purchases do have a lot of vetting, and there's always really good questions about what's on the list. So, thanks.
Same comment.
If I could, Madam Mayor, this is
Great,
paid for via hospital funds.
Thank you.
Well, hearing no further discussion, the resolution approving purchase of updated networking equipment due to the end of support is on page 34 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel,
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis,
Aye.
Councilmember Rant,
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Thanks, Paula.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
All right, next item of new business, after-hours reconnect services and fees, and Perry is here to talk to us about that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As it states in the memo, we run an electric utility, among other utilities, through the city of St. Peter. We currently have a policy that utilizes operations of the police department when a customer has been disconnected from their electricity for a non-payment of fees. Currently, they typically come in the next day or right afterwards. They've been noticed through the mail beforehand, and they have to pay a $70 plus tax fee to reconnect their service. For the past considerable amount of time, customers have been able to have reconnections made after hours. And what I mean by after hours is after 3:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, after noon on Friday, or on weekends or holiday days. That service and fee costs $300 plus tax. In the calendar and our fiscal 2024, we had one customer take advantage of that. In 2025, we have so far not had any customers take advantage of that service. Due to the fact that we will be closing the dispatch window, the logistics of trying to operate that service through Nicollet County would be very, very onerous, expensive, and probably untenable. So what we were recommending doing is discontinuing the service and the fee. Now, I do have to mention real quickly, and this one, I couldn't find any evidence that it's happened, at least in the last decade. A customer can say if they leave the city for a season, summer or winter or something, they can shut off their utilities, and that's a not failure to pay disconnection. They could pay $150 and have that reconnected after hours. So what I'm proposing in this resolution is striking a couple of different lines from our fee schedule so that service is no longer offered, and we'll move forward from there. Now, a couple of things we're trying to do to mitigate this, aside from just getting the word out that service is no longer there. Starting with this next month's both delinquent notices and disconnect notices, we will be notifying people and their landlords, not just by mail, but also by email. I hope to, by the end of the year, also have the ability to notify people who elect to do it, notify them by text. We have a lot of plans in our customer face of what's coming. We're going to be moving to a customer portal eventually, and it will really help facilitate these changes and help us provide better customer service to our customers. Our preference would be to never disconnect anybody, but the way life works, and it's been a hot summer, we've had a lot of high bills, we've had a lot of disconnections, but people seem to really understand what they need to do to get reconnected in those hours. We also hope sometime early in 2026 to extend that Monday through Thursday time all the way to 5 o'clock. The reason we only offer it right now till 3:30 is some customers are disconnected and they have physical meters that can't be just turned on through the computer. So in order to keep a level playing field for everybody, we like to allow 90 minutes for a physical meter, and so we cut it off at 3:30. And with that, if there's any questions, I can answer.
Thanks. Questions for Perry? Ben?
One minor question, and Pete, you can chime in on this too. I know that on Fridays we have earlier hours. Is there an issue, or would there be an issue with it only happening every once in a while and Friday being a payday? If somebody were to need to get hooked back up or turned back on at 3 o'clock on a Friday, could we still maybe slight deviation to keep those hours Monday through Friday? Like I said, I know that we do noon, but that's also a payday. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about. It happens very frequently, happens very infrequently.
Right. And
I understand
hadn't
that,
thought
but-
about that. I think that's a good point. I hadn't thought about the payday aspect of it. Because we try to always do disconnects on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, so that there's several days before a weekend or before the short Friday. It's very seldom happened on a Thursday, but it has. And my planned policy was just not to do disconnects on Thursdays. That way people have extra time. That, however, was not in consideration of the payday. I'd be happy to take that under advisement and see what we could come up with, and
Cool.
talk with my staff about how we could look into something like that, and I can report back to you on it.
Cool. Thanks.
And I did specifically, Todd and I talked about the day of the week, because I asked the same question. You're not doing disconnects on a Friday, and so people have no time before a weekend to get in touch.
Before a 3-day weekend or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And we have a lot of other rules around that. In the wintertime, in certain winter months, they go to a limiting meter, which is 30 minutes on, or I can't remember, some amount of time off. I think it's a third of an hour off and then 2/3 on. And then in the summer, if we're under a heat emergency, which happened twice this summer, our disconnect days happened to hit on days that it was extremely hot here. I thought I had moved to Africa or something. So we can make a judgment call, the city administrator can make a judgment call that, hey, we're going to put this off. That did cause us to have quite a few extra disconnects this time. That combined with the fact that it was such a hot summer that people's bills have been much, much higher than they have in recent time. So we do have some flexibility, and we're always trying to, it doesn't help us to try to punish our customers, because if you get disconnected, it's just going to get you farther and farther in the hole, having to pay extra money and late fees. So we try really hard to work with them, get them on payment plans so that we can keep moving forward. And then of course, we have lots of different resources within the valley that we can help people who are having trouble paying their utility bills to make sure they can get themselves back right side up and then paying going forward.
Thank you for pointing that out. I know there's a lot of effort that goes on from the city staff side of things, because we are not looking to punish people. Unfortunately, necessarily, there are times when we have to do a disconnect. So thank you for working through that as ethically and responsibly. And
I'm really thankful to have Jo, because she's sort of like the utility mother of our city. So she's very good at counseling people and listening, but yet being firm at the same time.
Yeah, well, thanks to Jo as well. If there is no further discussion, the resolution adopting modifications to a utility service and to the 2025 municipal fee schedule is on page 37 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Noel,
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis,
Aye.
Councilmember Ramp,
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
The resolution is approved.
Thank you.
Just one question, Todd. Thank you, Perry. Does this go into effect immediately
So
for
the
folks?
resolution indicates that this would happen October 1st. At the same time, dispatch service changes. As you know, mayor and members, related to fees, always towards the end of the year, in November-ish, we're reviewing all of the fees for the
Yep.
new year. And so one of the reasons that this stands apart from that is because of that dispatch change, and so effective October 1st.
That's great. Good to know for people watching at home. We're going to move on to our next item of business, the donation acceptance, the financial contribution for Gorman Park Phase 2.
Mayor and members, Pioneer Bank, in association with the Federal Home Loan Bank of Des Moines, wants to support the construction of Phase 2 of Gorman Park. And to that end, they're providing a $20,000 cash donation, again, to be paid towards Phase 2 of Gorman Park. Based on your donation policy, it's a requirement as a part of the council that you take action to accept this donation. They promoted this and provided, we've got a big check and everything, and but there is a policy related to donation acceptances, and so we're trying to follow that policy, and the resolution that's attached on page 39 does just that.
Any questions or discussion?
Madam Mayor, I would mention that we are very grateful for their resources. You have other groups that have looked at this, and anyone else that's interested in providing resources for Phase 2, we would love to have them come to a council meeting and be able to take a picture with a big check and thank them for their service to the community and families and others within our community as we work towards ensuring that Phase 2 can move forward.
I'll extend my thanks as well and just say that we would actually take any size check.
We would,
Does not
for
need
sure.
to be the big one. Wire transfer. If there's no further discussion, the resolution accepting the donation is on page 39 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis,
Aye.
Councilmember Ramp,
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye. The resolution is approved. And let's see, our last item of new business tonight, city assistance request for Oktoberfest.
Mayor and members, there's information included in your packet. This has been a request that you've seen in previous years, more specifically as the ambassadors moved this event to the fairgrounds. So this event would occur at the fairgrounds off Union Street. This is slightly different than previous years' requests in that you may have noticed this does not include a parade on Union or on Fair Street. The parade this year will not take place. I believe they will have something, what I would call on fairgrounds, for kids. They've typically had a kiddie parade, and it just works better there. So there's some discussion that's going on, but they're not intending to do it out on the public street. But we would help by providing them with picnic tables, some of the light standards, and of course, for the assistance that we provide them, they're required to have the appropriate level of insurance as a part of your practice and policy. This request is for the ambassadors again, and the event of Oktoberfest is September 25th through the 27th. And it's been a wonderful time over the past couple of years. They've had a couple of years of great weather, and so we're going to have that again, I think. At least that's what we're all hoping for. The resolution's included after the letter voicing their request, and the resolution's on page 42.
Any questions for Todd or any discussion? Hearing none, the resolution approving city assistance for St. Peter Ambassadors Oktoberfest event is on page 42. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Pettis,
Aye.
Councilmember Ramp,
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel,
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Moving on, we have a resolution calling for an executive session.
Mayor members, I'm requesting that under Minnesota Statute 13D, you have really technically two closed sessions. Both relate to union negotiations. The first related to parks, your parks union, and then the second related to streets. While I'm not sure whether you'll come back into open session, I believe that it's likely that you will, and so there is a possibility that you will come back into open session to consider contracts with those groups. And then after that, it would be reports and other things. So, Madam Mayor, the resolution's included in your packet on page 43.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the resolution calling for a closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Ramp,
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel,
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Right.
The resolution is approved, and we will adjourn to closed session at 7:43 PM.
Madam Mayor and members, I think we'll stay here. I expect this to be relatively short, and so we won't commute.
We are returning to open session. This is a regular city meeting of the City of St. Peter, our City Council, and it is 7:54 PM.
Mayor members, the next thing that I have on your agenda relates to approval or potential approval of a parks contract with Operating Engineers Local 70. We've passed out information that includes a memo or resolution and a copy of the contract. There are four primary issues that are modifications to the contract. One is that this is a one-year contract for the year 2025. This would include retro pay. That retro pay would start on January 6th. In addition to that, it's a 3% increase in wage across all classifications, including the parks foreman, who would receive 3% plus an additional $1 per hour. That $1 per hour is an effort that's been a multi-year effort to get that closer in concert with your streets foreman. In addition to that, there are clarifications related to jury duty that make it consistent with your non-union personnel policy. Clarification on eye protection and a $50 increase in uniform allowance. In addition, there are technical changes, dates, names, formatting, those types of things that are kind of regular corrections that occur in the contract. We've also provided with you a copy of the contract, which you'll see is signed by the local union steward. There's a resolution in this packet providing for approval, and the recommendation from my office is to provide for approval.
We did discuss this in closed session, but any additional questions or discussion, now would be the time. Hearing none, the resolution approving contract by and between the City of St. Peter and International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 70, AFL-CIO Parks for calendar year 2025 is printed in the new packet that we received. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Ramp,
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel,
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Resolution is approved. Our next item of business, resolution approving a contract with the Streets Department, or Streets Union.
Mayor and members, there's information included in a packet that we provided to you. You also had a closed session on this, which you have had before. There are 4 or 5 major points related to this contract and changes that have been provided for, one of which is it's a 1-year contract. It would be retroactive starting to January 6th, 2025. There's a generalized wage increase across all classifications of 3%. There's also a uniform modification increasing uniform allowance $50 per person, a jury duty clarification which brings it in line with your non-unionized regular personnel policy, and then technical changes related to format or change of dates or change of names that happen on occasion, or typos if those sneak through. There's a resolution included in your packet, Madam Mayor, members, and it's the recommendation from my office to approve the contract.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, the resolution approving contract by and between the City of St. Peter and International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 70, AFL-CIO, Streets for calendar year 2025 appears in the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom.
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Ramp.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. We will move on to reports. I have nothing to report tonight. Are there reports from any council members? Carrie Johnson.
Yes, I don't know if the public will see this in time, but for the council's benefit, the Hospital Foundation open house is tomorrow. It's Tuesday, September 9th, 5:30 to 7:30. They're holding a fundraiser event, and it says join the Rivers Edge Hospital Foundation, Rivers Edge staff, and ambulance crew members to learn more about emergency medical service and the work of the foundation. So if you can attend, please come. It's in the Rivers Edge Hospital dining room, again tomorrow, 5:30 to 7:30.
Thank you, Carrie. Additional reports. How about a report from our city administrator?
I'd like to invite Pete if I can. This is one of the items that the council's talked about on previous occasions, and I was hoping that Pete could give us a solar credit update. Pete, if you would, please.
Credit update, the SIMPA and the city installed the 76 kW solar system at the wastewater treatment facility, and we did make application to the federal government for the 30% tax credit on that, or the credit available to that. It's been over a year, but we did receive the fundings, and SIMPA takes that into their calculation. And so we are right where we need to be and what the council authorized going forward here. And we did get some interest on the amount of time it took to get refurbished or back to us, I should say. And we're good to go.
So Pete, thanks to you and your team. And this is one of those items that I don't want to take anybody's thunder here, but you actively lobbied on this, and so now it's come to fruition. So fantastic.
Yep.
It was, Senator Tina Smith was very active in getting this passed as part of the IRA. I believe it was 2022. And the fact that basically previously this credit had been available to essentially homeowners or private businesses, but was not available to government entities or nonprofits.
Correct.
In 2022, that changed, and we were able to take advantage of it so that we could, help push our city forward to a more carbon-free future.
Right.
Thanks, Pete.
Yep.
Fantastic
Thank you.
news. Thank you.
Wonderful to end on that note for the evening. Unless there's anything else, I'll take a motion to adjourn. All those in favor of adjournment say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.